And we are back with another podcast, ladies and gentlemen. It is about that time. We are, if anybody just watches us on Spotify, we go live on YouTube every Tuesday, 5 Central, usually by 5, and we're right on time. Goodness gracious. And I am here with Tim.
Yes,
Tim,
yes. Absolutely.
We're back with another podcast. Hopefully the sound is good.
I'm barely on the YouTube or the TikTok, but it's all right.
Oh, I think, we both are about barely on. Well, I got a big old head, so. Yes, welcome back to the No Sugar, No Cream podcast. Just nothing but coffee straight from the brew. Woo! We've been watching a lot of Olympics, and Tim likes to watch Olympics as long as he knows the end result. It's bad. The other night, we were about to watch something he didn't know the end of. It was going to be over in 2 minutes. Tim, you could have waited 2 minutes. 2 minutes, and we would have had the result. But he's panicking. I got to look it up. We're watching it live. Tim doesn't like any surprises. No surprises for Tim. He wants to know the outcome. So I get a kick out of that. I'm pretty used to getting all the spoilers in the afternoon.
No, I always tell you I don't know.
Not always. Nope. No. Usually, I didn't even worry about watching the surfing last night. Oh goodness gracious! I have to wake up. I got to stay up at all nights, all hours to make sure I watch it live, which I did. I'm up at all hours anyways. I'm an extreme night owl.
Extreme
night owl. So I like to stay up late and it works because a lot of the Simone Biles, I think she did hers like Sunday morning, like at 3:00 in the morning or something like that, or whatever, did her floor routine. And I saw the beam. And she messed that up and she got like 5th place, I think. She messed up.
Yeah, tied for 5th with the other American,
and
Suni Lee. Yeah.
Or Suni. Oh yeah. She didn't.
Was it Suni Lee? Suni Lee did get a bronze in something else. Oh, the uneven parallel bars. Suni Lee. Okay. Yeah. And then floor exercise, Simone got silver and Suni Lee got bronze. No, another woman. Childs, I think was her last name or something like that. My computer must be dead. It's not coming on, so I can't Google stuff.
Your computer might be dead.
So we watched live, or well, I don't know if it was live, but we watched the ladies' pursuit bicycle race, and the American won. And she actually wasn't even supposed to be in that race, but her friend who had the spot. I can't remember her name. If you can Google her name, she gave it up because she wanted to focus on the other cycling events. And so the American took it and took the role, and she was chasing the leaders. There were, I think, 2 leaders. And they were chasing them, and they kept reeling them in. And she was with another racer with the name Kopecky.
Kopecky, which is Tim's new favorite
I love that name. We're going to change our podcast to Kopecky. Try to say that over and over. Kopecky. I don't even remember what country she was from, but her last name was Kopecky.
I don't know where she was from, but her last name was Kopecky.
It just rolls off the tongue. It's got those wonderful consonants. Kopecky.
If you watched the last podcast, hopefully you made it to the end. There was this.
We're doing a routine, where Seth sings everything Tim says.
Yeah.
So we've been really enjoying the Olympics.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
And rooting on the Americans, and all love a great story, even if it's not American. The Olympics are always a great time, and for all these people coming together, there's some new stars. The Marchand from France won 4 gold, and he trains with Bob Bowman, who trained Michael Phelps, and he's only 22, if I remember right, and he is coming. I believe he's coming for Michael Phelps' record. The only thing holding him back is France is not as strong in the relays as the Americans, so he'll have a hard time equaling 23 goals because Michael Phelps got a lot of goals from relays, and so but he had 4 individual goals, and I guess that that the best that adjusting.
Yeah, we sound great.
The best. Good. Good. We got to do that quality control.
Quality control. Here, DJ Seth here on the YouTube.
Woo! Yeah, because our original podcast 4 last Tuesday, we were going along. We go for 53 minutes going along. You might want to unplug that because I can hear it.
I'll turn the sound off.
Oh, good. You're way ahead of me. And we...
I'm just right next to you.
You are right next to me, right? Yes, sir. But just ahead of me. So we went along for 52 minutes because we did a mic check first, and I inadvertently really screwed up. And I clicked a button and turned off the sound, even though the mic was picking it up in the app. Restream, it was shut off, and so therefore we did 53 minutes with no sound, and that episode will forever live in infamy as the muted podcast, good for only lip readers only.
For
lip readers podcast.
So yeah, you had to delete that off YouTube.
So I made it unlisted, so you cannot find it. But maybe one day, when we're rich and famous with no sugar, no cream, we'll bring it out, and kind of as a novelty item. Or something.
This is officially episode number 5.
Episode number 5, yes, sir.
And it took us to episode number 5 for me to realize that we weren't looking at each other. Yeah. So as you can see, we now look like we're looking at each other. We have 2 different cameras, but before
we switched spots.
We were looking at to the outside. It looked kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, it looked ridiculous. So we just switched spots.
And switch
cameras. So now
it works.
So step by step. I mean, only the first one, the audio on your mic was way too hot and very distorted, basically unlistenable. 2 and 3 was pretty doggone good. We're pretty doggone good. 4, we had the silent podcast. Week 5, I hope now we're in our stride. This is week 5. And I think you double checked the sound. The sound is good. The audio, the video is good. We're hitting our stride.
We're here for the long run.
We are.
This is as to use a little Olympic terminology. This is the 5K.
The 5K, yes, sir.
This is the 5K, and we're here for the long run.
Or maybe more of the marathon. We're doing the marathon.
We're a life marathon. We're doing a life marathon is what we're doing. Yeah. And we're here for long haul. And we're not going to do that average of just 7 podcasts. Most podcasts don't make it back 7 is what they say. That's the statistics. No, sir. We're here for 1 million podcasts. There's the title for the podcast.
Well,
on the road to 1 million podcasts.
Yes, that should be our logo. That should be our logo. Yes, sir. And you did do over 150 with your previous podcast, right? 150. How many did you make it to?
Right. I was thinking it was 151, and then I did a bunch of solo little mini podcasts.
And then I did with my buddy Jimmy D and the Wolf. We did 83. I counted them. So we've done some podcasts in the past, but this one is going to lap both of those.
Yeah,
we're going to lap both of those.
Only 999,009. 999.
Oh, 95 to go.
Yeah. Yeah, my mama told me on the numbers. Take off my toes when you're getting to 10. Take off your toes.
You mean your shoes?
No, take off your toes. I lost my toes in the fire.
Oh,
it's a sad story.
Funny.
And that's the end of the story. You don't. It was a bonfire. I'm mistaking my toes for hot dogs.
So, so if I could interject and do a little shameless self promotion, my song came out Friday. Wishing well,
Hey!
wishing well. Search for it.
Wishing-
I wish you well. If you would listen to Wishing Well, and it's a song about the futility, the perceived futility of finding love in 2024. People
Good
say it's
luck.
yeah, it's the hardest ever in the history of mankind. Some have said, and that's what this song is about.
Which is so funny when you think of how simple it is now. You basically just like, nope,
You have apps,
nope,
yeah,
maybe, nope.
yeah.
It still
We have
doesn't make
apps,
anybody.
but nobody's connecting.
Nobody responds. hardly
Everybody's lonely.
ever.
The loneliness level is
A lot
super
of them are
high.
fake.
Yeah, and so anyway, that came out. Wishing well,
Wishing well. Okay.
and then of course I'm putting the song out every 2 weeks, and in 2 weeks' time or a week and a half's time, I have a song coming out that I'm really excited about. Cold, which is a cover of Chris Stapleton's song that he wrote.
So the best
it's a
thing to
cover.
do is look you up on Spotify, right? That's
Spotify.
Tim Wolf.
Tim
Check
Wolf,
it out,
yeah,
guys.
Yeah. And then I just got the mix today.
This,
The master
this podcast
for
was
my
supported by
song,
Tim Wolf.
my song that I can't wait. That'll come
Yeah.
out September 13th, called Stephanie.
Man,
And,
you already got that.
I already loaded up. I loaded it up today to go
Load
live
it up.
September 13th, and it's only 80 seconds long. So
But it's catchy.
Thank you.
It'll be
Thank you.
second,
You're
yeah.
tough. You're tough. You're a tough
I'm
critiquer.
I'm a tough critiquer.
You
tough-
are. And I appreciate that you like this one. This one's out of my norm. There's no
I instantly have the tune running in my head once you say it.
Yeah, there's no guitar in it. It's a bit more hip hoppy than my normal stuff. And so I'm super excited about it. And
I'm gonna call him Little Wolf.
my rapper name. My
Yeah,
rapper
it's his
name.
rapper name.
Yeah. Well, I do have an alternative alma mater. In fact, I considered alter ego. I considered entering this song, putting it out there because it is so different than most of my songs. This Stephanie song, because it's much more funk / hip hop-ish. I modeled it, although when you listen to it, you'll say it doesn't sound anything like it. But I was inspired for the song by Tommy Richmond's $1 Million Baby, which was the song of the summer. And if any of you say that you don't know that song, once you look it up and start hearing it playing, unless you're living under a rock and have no social media, you have heard this song, Tommy Richmond's $1 Million Baby.
Or
And
you're
so-
disgraced.
So it's similar vibe, but it's not the same. But it's a similar vibe. It's not nearly as hip hoppy or rappy as his, but it's in the similar vein. And I'm excited. But anyway, I was going to say my alter ego. I have Gus Polinski, which my buddy Jimmy and I wrote a song just as a joke from Home Alone. The John Candy character from Home Alone is.
Tim was not very excited to watch Home Alone, and then he got into it.
Then I got into it.
We
yeah.
decided that Home Alone is our Christmas movie, which a lot of people.
Most people,
feels
yeah, it is.
a lot
Yeah.
of
So
people that
John
is it.
Candy plays a polka guy named Gus Polinski,
Mhm.
and he sings some songs, and one of them, he sings one of them, is polka, polka, polka. He sings that to forgot the character's name.
the mom character, I forget,
Kevin's
yeah,
mom.
Kevin's
Yeah,
mom,
he sings it, and she says, doesn't ring a bell. And anyway, so I went online, and there is no artist named Gus Polinski, so I created Gus Polinski as my alter ego, and I
Gus
wrote the song
Polka
Polka
Polka.
Polka, and it's out there, and you can listen to it. And there's 2 versions of it. There's the first version that I put out in 2020, and then I had my producer help me, and he played clarinet on it, which is a very polka instrument. Polka, polka has accordion and clarinet, and of course the bass, boom, 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 boom. It's 2/4 times, so that's that 2-beat makes a polka. So
I think of like the one instrument, like something what's the one instrument that like they blow with? No, they have the
Trombone?
keys,
No,
and
the keys.
the bag thing that comes in and out. Well, my dad used to play it. Yeah, you have the thing that comes in and out. Accordion, is it? Accordion? No,
Yeah,
no,
that's
no.
what I said. Okay, accordion. Yeah, accordion.
Okay, that's what you said. Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
it's
accordion
like
is very much part of the polka thing.
right.
And you know, accordion. Talk about. There's an interesting thing. You know, back in the 50s and 60s, accordion. In fact, where was I? I was at the music store, the local Nashville New and Used Music, because I wanted them. I had some amps I wanted to get worked on, but they said they don't work on amps. But anyway, a guy came in with an accordion that they had gotten at a flea sale or a estate sale or something, and none of them that had it had. And they brought it in and opened up the case. They wanted to know if they could either. I think they were trying to get it fixed because it was old. And I struck up a conversation with the guy. And do you know that back in the first rock and roll bands, Rock Around the Clock was probably the first rock and roll song, you know, Rock Around the Clock.
Gonna rock around the clock tonight.
Yeah, Rock Around the Clock tonight. That had accordion. And rock bands back then had accordion in them. Accordion was a very important instrument. But does anyone know anyone who isn't like a boomer or older that plays accordion today? I mean, it's not an instrument that young
dad
people
is a
are
boomer
taking up.
and he plays it. I don't think he has anymore, but he would pull it out from random times.
It's an instrument that has run its course. So I thought.
Didn't your aunt play it? Mabel?
My grandpa did.
Grandpa did. I think
my grandpa did.
Mabel. Why am I thinking
No, Mabel didn't, but Grandpa did. Grandpa played an accordion back in the day, way back.
Wow.
In the day. And so I thought this instrument is obsolete. In fact, I even did a YouTube video. It was my weekly email. If you're interested in having my weekly emails, go to thetimwolf.com and you can sign up, get my weekly emails talking about all kinds of things. And I did a thing about how the accordion was once a very fascinating instrument. And I don't know why I started it, because I remember back when I was like 5 and 6 years old, a guy came to our church, and because we had a lot of visiting musicians and evangelists come to our church, and this guy who played the accordion, that was his instrument. I remember him saying that he practiced. This stuck in my head as like a 5, 6, 7-year-old. He said he practices his accordion like 6 hours a day. He wanted to be an accordion virtuoso. And now, as I think about that, for some reason,
the popularity of it will just rise as the time goes by.
I was like, what a waste of. I mean, the whole crux of my article was, why pick that instrument when you know, where are you going to play that?
It's like a Beanie Baby collector today.
So I thought, the accordion is obsolete. But when I went to the Balkans, I realized that I was mistaken, because every restaurant or bar I went to, the accordion was the main instrument. Accordion is live and well in Eastern Europe or whatever. The Balkans.
That's what I was going to say. I was like, makes me think of like Europe, like areas, like definitely like are like they have the big festivals and stuff. I think of somebody playing.
If you think about if you think about like the Oktoberfest.
Yes.
Yeah, I think there's accordions part of that.
Oh yeah.
This is further south. I mean, the Balkans. I was in Slovenia, which is where our former first lady, she's Slovenian. Melania Trump, Donald Trump's wife. Is it Melania?
Yeah.
What's her name? Don't even remember it. I think it was Melania Trump. Anyway, she's Slovenian, and also the MVP from NBA from Denver. No, Dallas. Sorry, my bad. Dallas was in the finals. I could see his face. I can't think of his name.
I can see your face.
He's from Slovenia.
That's me. I see the face, but I don't know the name.
Anyway, I love Slovenia. I mean, Slovenia kind of reminded me of. It's part of the Balkans. It was part of. There was a country that was all of these countries combined. Yugoslavia was all of these countries combined into one country, and then around 1990 they broke apart into separate countries. Slovenia was part of Yugoslavia. And Serbia was part of Yugoslavia. There's a bunch of other countries, Albania, I think, Kosovo, and that's when they had all the wars of Kosovo. Anyway, a lot of history there in that area. But in that area, the former Yugoslavian countries, accordion is alive and well.
And that was the History Corner with Tim. Join us next time for a History Corner with Tim.
And I bored
Thank
my
you
nephew.
for tuning
Bored
in.
my nephew to tears.
No, I'm not crying yet. I'm holding them in so I may stay hydrated.
So what is new with your week? What is new? Did you go to any great? We saw that movie we talked about.
Yes, did we talk about it on the podcast?
Josh Hartnett. We
No, we
talked
haven't.
about it. The Trap. The M Night Shyamalan.
We said we were going to go see it, right?
We said we were going to go. We did go.
We did see it.
We did see it.
I give it a B-.
Yeah, it wasn't knocked out of the
as
park.
good, but some people are saying, "Oh, it's the worst movie ever." Oh, shut up!
Yeah,
Like,
it didn't get raving
no.
reviews.
It was a good concept. He just he has such a good concept and stuff, and it just needs to be polished more.
Yeah, the execution wasn't there.
I liked some humor. I still enjoyed it. I
enjoyed it very much.
I still enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I mean, I like the you think it's going to go one way, and and it goes another, and kind of.
I mean, it's pretty obvious. I think if you saw the trailers, this is not giving anything away. This is not spoiler what I'm going to say, because if you see a trailer, you will know what I'm going to say. It's a father-daughter movie where he takes his daughter to basically a Taylor Swift type artist, huge. It's a fictitious person, but
the daughter is the killer.
and there's a lot of police presence there, and I mean, the trailer gives us away, so I'm not spoiling anything if you see it. Normally you're not going to go to see a movie if you don't see the trailer. And the dad of the daughter that finds out that all the police presence is there because they know,
because a worker there
tells him that they know that this serial killer, what did they call him? They called him they had a name for him, the Butcher.
Was it the Butcher?
That Butcher, wasn't that what they called him? The Butcher.
I think so. Yeah.
Where he kidnaps people, and then I think it was a Butcher.
Yeah.
And the dad, who is a wonderful dad, taking his daughter to see the artist that she loves. He is in a second secret life, the Butcher, and you learn that from the trailer. And then then the rest of the movie is what happens.
Yeah, they have the stadium surrounded by cops, and he's trying to figure out a way to get out. And
we don't. That's all we're going to say. We don't say what happens, but I mean, I don't think we gave away any spoiler because you can learn that in the trailer.
Yeah.
And so, Josh Hartnett, hope I said his name right, is phenomenal.
He does. He plays that part really well.
He plays the part really well, and it's in a.
M Night Shyamalan's daughter's in it, and she's does singing. And
is she's
a real
okay?
artist.
She plays the Taylor Swift type person.
She
plays the artist.
So is
I asked you that was
So the album came out the same. Her album came because I ended up watching some interviews.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Her album came out the same day, and they literally did put on a concert. So I'm guessing they put on like a free concert kind of thing. So and then tape it while it was going on, and there was people that were surrounded. A lot of people did not know. Like
that they were filming a movie.
No, I guess they knew that they were filming and everything. There's cameras there and everything, but didn't know the whole plot of the movie.
Yeah, sure.
And so there, what Hutchinson is that or no, not the actor
Hartnett.
He was saying how people were consoling him and stuff because like just the way he was acting and stuff, like they're like,
"Don't!
Okay.
I got to be in character. Don't console me. Don't interrupt the filming of this thing."
I'm a killer.
Josh Hartnett, yeah.
Josh Hartnett, yeah. Which this is a good opportunity for him too because he's always. I don't know if he's really played a killer before. Maybe once.
But he's not one of the A-list.
He's more of like
things.
A heart warmer. No, and that's what M Night Shyamalan shoots for. Other than I mean, he must love to use Bruce Willis. He used him a couple times, and which is crazy. He used in the one Signs. who later ends up doing Joker nowadays. He does the new Jokers. He became a giant, a big celebrity.
Joaquin Phoenix
Joaquin Phoenix
was in a M Night Shyamalan.
He was in Signs. He was the brother.
Wow.
He was the brother. Which that
See, I'm not
Signs is
a fan.
movie.
You're a huge M Night Shyamalan
So there's some of them
fan.
you haven't seen, have you?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh, see, like The Village. Have you seen The Village?
The only one I've seen, Sixth Sense.
Ooh, see, that's a
that I
good
can
one with
think
a
of.
good spin. Like, oh, we should watch The Village sometime.
Sure.
That'd be awesome. And then I mean, you know, Unbreakable. Have you seen?
I've only seen bits and pieces of it. I know the
that's
gist
the
of
one
it.
that end up. He's Bruce Willis. His character shows up at the end of the movie Split, and then you realize they're in the same
Universe or whatever.
Universe. And then they make a third movie called Glass because that was the villain of Bruce Willis' characters. It was this doctor who he broke his bones really easily, and he was looking for someone that was invincible because he felt like there was somebody opposite of him that would be, you know.
No, that whole series of movies, I've only seen bits and pieces. Like maybe, you know, the kind of thing when you're on a plane and you're thumbing through, or maybe you see bits and pieces, or I don't know. I've seen, the Unbreakable.
Old is pretty good too.
Pieces of it, only pieces of it. Though.
So he's been doing a series on Apple TV that's gone on for like 4 seasons, I guess now. And that I watched the trailer of that again, and that's definitely interesting. Like, if the plot of that, it's called what's it called? It starts with Servant. No, Serving or something. I think but anyways, it's on Apple TV. M Night Shyamalan directs and writes it, and this couple gets somebody to watch their baby, which isn't really a baby. It's that they lost their baby, and she's taking care of a doll that looks pretty realistic, but she had a tragedy with her child dying, so that she literally takes care of a doll now, and they've gone as far as to hire a maid to take care of the doll. And even during the trailer, the girl they hired to help take care of the baby ends up being really like playing along, or even just acting just like it's a real baby too. So it's a crazy concept, like thing. So that would be interesting to watch. But he is there's another one. His most recently is where like people just show up this house and say that they have to kill them to save the world or something like that, which that one ends up being
one of M Night Shyamalan's movies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a couple with a child that is it's called.
So this is the one before this
cabin
one
in the woods.
This is the one before this.
Yeah,
one.
I think this one was before.
Is he an American or
yeah? I mean, he's
Indian, right?
He's from India, but his national he's not from.
His ethnicity is
I'm
Indian.
pretty sure he was born here.
Okay,
born here, and was making movies ever since he was a kid. Really, as far as like his passion for
the first one that really blew up for him was Sixth Sense. Then,
yeah, I think he had maybe something like that wasn't really make it, but yeah, Sixth Sense was like his first movie, really. I think.
Wow.
So, yeah, man, Sixth Sense. Nobody really had experienced twists like that. Like, just like he comes up with some interesting concept, and I mean, he's definitely. I mean, After Earth with Will Smith and his son. That's horrible. I don't know what he was trying to do.
So he's made some stinkers.
He's definitely made some stinkers, but and then there's the one where the plants are killing you or whatever. That one's horrible. Like they're just like letting off some. Yeah, they're just letting off something, and it's just people are dropping dead, and yeah, that one's horrible. They could have skipped that one. M Night. That one.
Oh man, you always make me laugh.
That was he had a good actor for that one too. It was Wahlberg was in that one.
So yeah, the two help me parse out because I always get them confused. You got Mark, who was the Marky Mark, and then who's the other Wahlberg? There were two Wahlbergs.
I think he did some singing too.
Who's the other? One of them was part of a boy group. Marky Mark was his own guy, Mark Wahlberg, and then who's the other Wahlberg? There's two. Can you remember? But I think the only one who's relevant today these days is probably Mark. has
Yeah.
done
Well, no,
much acting.
His brother is still has been on a
What's his
TV
brother's
series
name?
forever.
Use that Google. I got to remember to charge up my computer next time. Still things we can improve. Still things we can improve. So working on it, getting it. Oh, by the way, a friend of mine commented on my shirt today. This is a shirt I bought when I was living in Japan, which has been a long time now because it's been a long time since I lived in Japan. 20 years, 19 years. So showing off my Japanese. I think it's like a scene from maybe a wood print.
And I'm ready for a vacation.
Ukiyo-e.
I'm ready for Donnie Wahlberg.
Donnie. Yes, Donnie. Donnie was in a boy group, right? He was in a boy group, like Boys R Us or.
Well, so they were both in groups.
No,
then, huh?
Marky Mark, he was his own artist. Does it say there? What group was he in? Donnie.
Let's look up the.
He was in a boy group of some sort.
Yeah, one of them is.
Somebody is screaming at the.
Boys.
Somebody watching this is screaming at the screen the name of the. One day soon. One day we're going to be able to have people on here, and you can scream at us. Don't you know it's blankety blank?
Song, yeah, New Kids on the Block.
See,
but that's Mark Wahlberg.
That was Mark. Well, then when did
Mark.
Marky Mark come?
No. His is Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch.
Yeah, so no. Donnie, the one of them was in the group, and the other one was his own thing. This I know.
Oh, Donnie. It was Marky Mark and the Funky. So he had the guys with him though.
Yeah, but Donnie must have been in the
Backstreet. The boy band.
Yes. What's the name of it now?
New Kids
on the Block. See, I know my stuff. My stuff.
But that Good Vibrations,
delusional.
That was Marky Mark. Good Vibrations was Marky Mark.
What's Good Vibrations? Man, you
Good Vibrations.
No, that's the Beach Boys.
No,
that's the Beach Boys from Pet Sounds.
You can play it once.
Okay. Oh yeah. They play that all the time at sporting events.
Right. But yeah, I guess that's
that's what New Kids on the Block.
Marky Mark.
Oh, that's Marky Mark.
Yeah.
Wow. Marky Mark. Boy, he's making money from that because they still play that at sporting events.
Oh yeah, as long as he owns, I guess still owns it completely. that you never know that.
Another guy that you love that was kind of from the same era is Justin Timberlake. You're a big Tom. Wasn't he in the news recently, kind of in a negative way or something?
CD unopened. I was trying to get the record. I wanted to get something.
What's the latest news on Justin Timberlake? There was some negative in the news.
Selling out like he wanted to, but that
there's some news or something
for DWI.
Oh, that's what it was. Yes,
but he might get out of it because the cops said some friends stopped and be like, "Hey, you know who you're about to arrest?" For one thing, and he was young enough where he didn't even know who Justin Timberlake was, and then he
does that make you feel old, Seth?
I don't care.
A cop doesn't even know who Justin Timberlake is.
That's all right. I wasn't getting in the DWI, and so this couple that was his friends were like, "Hey," the wife was like, "Hey, can I take his car? If I can't take him, can I take his car and bring it back to the house?" And they said yes. And she had been drinking more than Justin, so they're using that as an argument for like how these cops going to know if Justin's really was drunk if they could even tell that this lady was definitely probably drunk.
You get a good lawyer. So you get a good lawyer. You can get stuff. You can get off. You can get
TMZ,
off stuff.
Which, TMZ. He's that's what his job was of being a lawyer back in the day. He's a lawyer. The
TMZ guy.
TMZ guy. Yeah.
He's
a lawyer.
Still same guy.
A couple lawyers on the show too.
Oh.
So I
haven't watched TMZ in like 2 decades maybe.
I've been on TMZ Live a couple times. Come on their show live over.
You mean with a question? What do you mean?
No, usually having a comment on something. You're commenting on something that one of the subjects.
So your face was on?
My face and everything. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Seth!
I was famous.
I
It was
you're
funny. Somebody
famous.
from
You're so. Let's get those clips. Do
somebody
we
I
have
went
those
to school with,
clips?
his wife saw me.
My
It was like,
podcast
what?
partner is famous. Man, let's use this to our advantage.
Well, TMZ. I'll put that on my DMBCL or whatever it's called. Acting.
Your CV. Your CV.
IMDb. I just said IMCBD.
I did not know this about your nephew.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of TMZ.
I didn't know you were live on
But
TMZ.
we even it was fun. We did the tour, and they have a really good professional tour that we went on. We did that, and then we did like the shady, questionable tour, which I love just as much.
Well,
But
what's the questionable tour?
He was in this van that was turned was chopped. The top was chopped off of it, basically, I think. And the dude was driving like crazy as he was talking the whole time, giving us.
Oh, you told me about that. Oh, yeah. You
My
told me
mom
about that.
was freaking out the whole time, and I loved it. And then he got a ticket for parking somewhere where we got out and walked around for a minute, and these cops gave him a ticket. Oh, it was so crazy. He was hilarious. He had done some acting too. Like he had been in a show recently. And
everybody, they say everybody in LA is an actor, an actor of some sort, or want to be an actor, If you go to a restaurant, our specials today, the guy saying our specials today are probably an artist or an actor.
The person
trying to
waiting on you could be the next person starring on the next, well, it could be a reality show or the next big, the kid from the OC. He's done pretty well for himself, and he had no experience whatsoever, and he was working at a restaurant serving before he got the job at the OC, and that turned into 4 seasons, and I really enjoyed that show.
Well,
and then he turned into he did the Batman series, Gotham.
And
another cop show too.
I can see his face, but it's skipping. Who played Han Solo? Who played Han Solo?
He's dead. It's okay.
No, he's not dead. He's still alive.
No, he died in the movie. I don't want to be a spoiler.
Harrison Ford.
His son kills him.
Harrison Ford moved to LA.
That makes
and he thought about this and he said, what do I need to do to succeed? Everybody is moving here at the same time, and we're all trying to get these acting jobs. And I've heard it described when you go to an audition, there's like 100 people there, and it's like a cattle call, and they only got one role, and you waste all this time to get called, and they'll say you're too fat, you're too skinny, you're too tall, you're too short, you're too old, you're too young.
Get you with those cattle prods,
whatever. Too. Yeah, and he came to LA and he said, what can I do? I need to be able to stay here long enough, have some longevity, so that I can stay. And he became a carpenter, and he started doing fine carpentry for a lot of famous directors, and that's literally how he got the job in Star Wars. He was George Lucas. He was doing some kitchen work, if I remember correctly. I might have some of the details off just a little bit, but I'm pretty sure it was George Lucas for kitchen work. And he did fine carpentry. It wasn't just rough 2x4s. He did fine carpentry, and he was good at the job. And so they were having a reading, and somebody didn't show up, and they needed somebody to read a part. And somehow they knew he was also an aspiring actor, and so they let him sit at the table and read, and he got the Han Solo job from that, and the rest is history.
Which is so crazy. Like one of the biggest actors, but for the last 30 years.
Oh yeah, no doubt. And
40 years.
And I hope that I got that story right. If I got any details
still
off,
acting.
Make sure that you let us know. We respond. We want hate. We want the hate comments so that we can respond. Any kind of any publicity is good. So if you say you don't know what you're talking about, let us have it. Let's hear it.
I love that some of this like Western stuff has come, and like Paramount Plus has put out the show. It had a bunch of spinoffs. Put out Yellowstone.
Yes,
which is like a nice cross between old school and new school, like dramatized, like kind of like a the craziness of how the West was creeped into modern day, and it is amazing. And it is so bummer that the main actor from that he ended up quitting. He was doing his own thing, but the guy that they done two spinoffs, they done like two pre shows that leading up to the family, and both of those have been amazing. And then I even mentioned about there's the true story. I think he had a connection with that too, but it's a true based on a true story of Bass Reeves, one of the first African not cop but Marshal, and it was for I didn't even realize until after I was watching it or it was for Arkansas. It was part of Arkansas, Northwest Arkansas area, I guess, and then part of also part of the Indian territories. And he had Bass Reeves gotten good at shooting from the Indians. He had lived with the Indians and knew like two or three different languages of the Indians. And man, he lived until he lived a full life and basically was able to retire. And I mean, he had been in many gun fights, and I mean,
so it must have been the late 1800s.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So they
did a really good job.
My song "Born in South Dakota," because I was born in South Dakota, came out about a month or so, maybe 2 months ago, and it talks about the story of Wild Bill Hickok, who was gunned down. He really wasn't from South Dakota, but South Dakota had a gold rush. He spent most of his time in Missouri and Kansas some, and he got a reputation for being really good with a gun. And some of the stories that he had, like one, he was being accosted by a guy who was going to shoot him, and I think the guy was on horse, and Wild Bill was on the ground and on foot, and Wild Bill, or maybe vice versa. And Wild Bill looked past the guy and pretended like he was talking to somebody. Don't shoot him in the back. He's drunk. And the guy thought there was somebody threatening him behind him. And he turns around to see who that threat is. And while he turns around, Bill Hickok kills him. So he had great, foresight. I mean, he could have died there. But and there are other stories like that. And he had a big gun fight in Missouri. And one of the guys that Randy, who comes on a lot of my videos. One of my I've never met him, but he's always on my videos following when I do my live streams. Randy said that in the square there's a plaque for Wild Bill commemorating that gunfight. So a lot of it was exaggerated, from the Wild West movies or the Western movies, but there was a lot of things that really happened. And the law was kind of, wasn't so, you could get off from stuff. And there was at least one time that Wild Bill was convicted of murder, but he got off because of a technicality. I mean, so he lived right on the edge of the gray area of the law. Mm-hmm. It was kind of wild and woolly, and you could kind of get by, especially if people liked you, if you were popular. And he was popular. But when he got to South Dakota, and he was also somewhat of a card shark, made his living playing cards, and he's at Number 10 Saloon in Deadwood, South Dakota. And there was a guy who I guess he had lost.
Was Texas Hold'em the game back then too? Or was it more of a
5-card stud? I think it was 5-card stud. And he would always sit with his back to the wall, but he's playing that night at Number 10 Saloon, and for whatever reason, another guy said, I want to sit in that spot. And so for whatever reason, Bill said, okay, I'll take that spot and I'll sit with my back to the door, which is, I'm comfortable with that role, but I'll do it because you want to take the seat I normally take. And there was a guy who the night before had lost all his money and he was drunk. I can't remember the guy's name is well documented. I can't remember his name right now. And Wild Bill actually gave him some money to go eat breakfast the next morning because he had lost all his money. And that guy came in and he goes, "You lie!" No,
throwback.
That's a throwback to a previous podcast. Anyway, he didn't say you lie. He said something else, take that or something, and he shot him in the back of the head and killed him. And Wild Bill died because he gave up his normal seat and couldn't protect himself. And he was holding what became known as the dead man's hand, which is a pair of aces and a pair of eights. And so that's called the dead man's hand. And anyhow, when I put out my song, which talks about Wild Bill, is in my song Born in South Dakota, and a pair of aces and a pair of eights should win out unless you get shot in the back.
Did he really say take that? Supposedly?
Yes, that's what he said. Take that. That's exactly what he said. I'd forgotten what it was.
No,
yeah,
you said it. You said it.
Yeah. I believe that was it.
Just confirming
or something similar to that.
Because it's like, no, he was definitely drunk because he couldn't come up with anything more creative than take that. Take it. You take it, mister. I got a gun.
And so another funny story is that Calamity Jane, who was a colorful character, a very skilled markswoman, but also an alcoholic. And she had a crush on Wild Bill. Wild Bill was married, but his wife wasn't in Deadwood. She lived, I think, in Missouri still. And Calamity Jane claimed that she was married to Wild Bill. She had a crush on him. She loved him, I guess. And after he was shot, she wanted to avenge his death. And the guy that shot him, she was going to kill that guy. But she literally got drunk and forgot her gun. So, I mean, you can't, the main thing you need to, it's like going to a gig.
That. Oh, it's no gun.
And so the funny thing about it is she never won his love. He's like, had no interest.
She's crazy.
She's crazy. But when she died later, I think from natural causes, the city of Deadwood, as a cruel joke, because he was buried in the city graveyard. They buried Calamity Jane next to Wild Bill.
Oh, but he was rolling in his grave.
So the line in my song is, Bill's love, Jane still hasn't won.
That's so funny.
So anyway, I only bring that up. Well, a little bit of selfish self-promotion, obviously, about my song, but Born in South Dakota. But, the story about the gunfighting and all of that, I mean, there's some, I know a lot of it got exaggerated, but when I read the story of Wild Bill Hickok, I'm like, this story is not exaggerated. This is all documented. The footnotes are like 2 pages of footnotes. All these things that happened, they've even got a plaque in I don't remember the city in Missouri where this happened. It's on the square. And so, there it's not something that's movie made up. It actually happened. So there were some crazy things that happened in that era, probably the golden age for that was after the Civil War, which the Civil War ended in 1865, I want to say. I know it started 1862, I believe. So it ended in the mid 1860s. 65, I believe, is when it finally ended. From the Civil War until probably
1900s,
1900, yeah,
early
maybe
1900s.
1900, because then then the railroads came, and the cross-continental railroad became a thing, maybe around 1890s and something like that. No, exactly. And so that kind of civilized that interior part that was pretty wild, and the rules were kind of fudgeable, a little gray there, because
there just wasn't enough accountability to.
Yeah, right. No accountability. Accountability is probably missing. And then the Indians got subdued and forced into reservations, and the last great Indian massacre where we massacred them is Wounded Knee, which is in South Dakota, where women and children were murdered by American troops. The massacre at Wounded Knee. And I believe that happened in 1892. Again, double check.
That late? Wow.
I believe it's 18. Could you double check the massacre at Wounded Knee? which was pretty much the end of after that, all the Native Americans had been subjugated. That was really the last one. The American Sioux were pretty much the last tribe to be subjugated. And they're the ones who battled a little bighorn when General Custer got massacred. It was the Sioux that did that. They were a fierce tribe from South Dakota, Lakota Sioux.
1890. Gosh.
Give me props. Give me props. Do I know my stuff? I was off by 2 years. I said 1892. Massacre Wounded Knee. A shameful time in our history when unarmed women and children were gunned down. Is that what it says? Is that what it's saying? Pretty much.
I was just kind of. I didn't make it that far. But
we need to have we can't end the podcast on such a dark note. So we need to we need to do some fun stuff. I mean that we don't want to shy away from the true history of our country, but
1 little, 2 little, 3 little Indian, 4 little, 5 little, 6 little Indian.
Oh my God.
7 little, 9 little Indian, 10 little Indian boys.
No.
10, 9, 8 little Indians, 7, 6, 5 little Indians, 4, 3, 2 little Indians. That was just a massacre.
Go away.
1, 2, 3 little Indians, 4, 5, 6 little Indians, 7 little 6, 8 little Indians, 9 little Indians, boys. Wait, I forgot 10.
Oh man, what else is going on, Seth? Anything else?
You know where I learned that from?
No.
It was this pedophile that I knew. It's his favorite song. He loves those little Indian boys. That's a joke, guys. That's a joke. The funny part is my grandma taught me that song.
Pedophilia is nothing to joke about. We want to be clear about that. But
yes. Kill all
we
the
need to go.
pedophiles.
Can we go lighter to end our podcast? What can we?
No,
what's
this is
going on
perfect.
that is
This
light?
is perfect.
What
Anyways,
can we talk about
this
light?
pedophiles. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, my
help.
interesting story. I think my sax is probably visible, maybe behind you, maybe not. I played sax for about a year and a half, and my album Cool Again.
You were joking about changing the subject.
Yeah, well, no, I'm not changing it. I'm bringing it back. I'll bring it back to that.
Bring it back.
So my sax is behind you, and I played sax for about a year and a half, and I'm out of. I mean, you have to maintain your practice and your lip, and I realized I didn't have the time. So, but my album Cool Again has some of my sax on it. Not all the sax is mine. My producer plays sax much better than I ever did, and some. But on like the intro song, which is Cool Again, Cool Cat Lounge, that sax solo is mine. So look that up. Anyway, so my sax instructor, he was a
saxophone.
He was the professor at SDSU, and he newly minted, had gotten his PhD. And I found him online, and I took lessons from him for a year and a half. And great saxophone player, extremely nerdy. Could you imagine a PhD in sax? I mean, that's going to be a very, very nerdy person. And
at least it's not the xylophone or the thing we were talking about earlier. Accordion.
Sax is, I think, the coolest instrument. It's
cool.
I would love to. That's why I have it out there. I mean, I have
a. Just about you made me thinking
blues,
of
and it used to be very popular in rock and roll as well.
Makes me want to go to like some spot. Like, I mean, is there a good jazz spot?
Let's go. Kara, who does every Sunday night, does a thing at a jazz. She has a residency. We need to go there.
Okay.
Something to do with 18th Amendment, which was the prohibition. Amendment 18, I think, or something like that. It's a place in Nashville.
Okay.
I believe that's the name of it. We need to go Sunday night.
Sweet. Okay.
We're
there.
Anyhow,
square.
So
I don't want to be square.
I won't say his name, but he was my professor. Okay. No,
that's your name, Tim.
He was my professor, and sometimes when you're bored, I don't know if you do this. I admit that I do it. You Google people that had been in your life. What is this person doing? And his name is rather unique. So I Googled his name, and he came up, and he moved back to Oklahoma. He was from Oklahoma. That's where he got his PhD, University of Oklahoma. And I Googled his name, and lo and behold, he got caught. He's in prison now. as a pedophile. I mean, he had 2 kids that were about 10. He had a daughter and a son. They were about 10 to 12 years old.
Like he got caught committing a crime, or
he texted. It was a cop. It was a sting operation.
Oh, it was a
he
sting.
thought he was texting a 14-year-old girl,
Mm-hmm.
and he texted a picture of his junk and asked who he thought was a girl, "How old are you?" And the response was 14. And he said, "I'm 35. The age gaps are hot." And that's what the headline was in the local newspaper. Local professor says age gaps are hot. And he got arrested. And I just think about how radically his life changed. I mean, that's horrible. That's horrible. I mean, he obviously, I'm sure that wasn't his first time, but how radically his life changed.
Sadly, sometimes it is the first time for people.
Well, I have no idea. I have no idea first time or whatever, but he, 7 years, and that's not going to be an easy 7 years. 7 years as a pedophile in prison, if you're in the normal population, that's going to be a tough 7 years.
Which, I mean, like I knew about somebody, they usually have a separate area for you now because bad things do happen, but
so I mean, and his sax, he was teaching lessons. He's not teaching a student, a young, someone who adult. Anyone under 18 or whatever the age would be, he's not going to be able to get a job teaching them saxophone. It's only going to be adults. And I mean, his life is over. When he gets out, he's a registered sex offender for the rest of his life. And I just think about that knock on. I'm not saying he didn't deserve anything. I'm not saying that at all. But I knew him as my professor who taught me to play sax. And obviously I didn't know he was a pedophile, but that knock on the door on his home changed his life forever. And I mean, his kids. I mean, do his kids even? He had a daughter that wasn't much younger than 14 at that time. And he's probably lost contact. He's already been divorced. So, I mean, that's a horrible thing. I mean, his life has changed forever, even when he gets out. Anyway, it makes me sad for him.
Just think of that. Yeah, that's horrible. Just think of what's even worse if your dad's a murderer. Like that. So
everything's gradation. Yeah, everything's gradation. Yeah.
Let's just not do crime bits, everyone. Let's just hold hands and sing Kumbaya
and not do crime. Yeah,
Kumbaya.
Pretty dark today. This is a pretty dark podcast.
Let's up. We're gonna polish
lighten it up, man. We need to make it. Nobody's want to come back.
Just like the movie that we saw Friday, it just needs some polishing. We're just gonna polish her up, and we're just polish her up real quick, and just episode number 5. That was uplifting ish. To leave you with a happy note, I'm gonna do one of my poems. I mean, folks,
this is all news to me. I didn't know Seth had any poems. So,
roses are red, violets are pink. Wait, that's not incorrect because that's the wrong color. You think?
That's so bad. That's so bad.
Thank you.
Is horrible.
Thank you.
Horrible.
I appreciate your honesty.
But I'm laughing, so you succeeded.
Tim, this is the part of Tim is being sarcastic. He loved it. He gave it an A+. Tim gave it an A+. You're so sarcastic. He said it was horrible. He's joking.
All right,
guys.
let's do housekeeping. So next Monday or next Tuesday.
Wait, I need a broom for this part. Housekeeping.
Next Tuesday we'll go live again, 5:00 Central Time, Nashville time.
How are we gonna do that?
And
we won't be here.
Oh, good point. Good catch. We have a special trip, so we're gonna have to reschedule. When are we gonna do next week? Monday? We're doing this planning in real time here.
Monday, okay? Monday or Thursday?
Let's do Monday. Let's do Monday.
Monday, we'll be live.
We're going to go live. So, boy, I'm glad that we talked about this right now.
It's a good thing I did my perfect poem.
Yeah. So Monday instead of Tuesday, because we're going to be gone. We got a special trip we're going to. And we can't talk about what it is because we're surprising. So, in case somebody happens to be watching, we don't want them to know.
Secrets.
But so Monday Yeah, Monday we'll go live, but then again it'll be back to Tuesday, and hopefully by
Hopefully.
Monday we'll have our merch,
Hopefully
our
by Monday we'll
no
have
sugar,
our
no
merch.
cream merch
No sugar,
that we can
no
offer.
cream podcast merch.
All right.
That's about it, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time, next Monday. This has been episode 5. I'm Seth. That's Tim. And we'll see you next time. Goodbye. No, seriously. Bye.
Give me a moment.
No, bye.
Give me a moment.
See you later.